there isn't a correct path that you have to take, but at some point in time, you have to sacrifice to have success. Six-figure income. It's what you dreamed of. You were going to make six figures and everything would be perfect. You and your spouse, you and your partner making six figures, life is going to be easy, happy. All the things you dreamed of, a home, a car, family, everything was just going to flow from there as soon as you got there. But there's a disconnect. The disconnect is, even though you thought that was going to be enough, it doesn't feel like it's enough. Why is that? Why is there such a disconnect? See, we all know people on two different sides of this coin. They're making great money, and let's take person A. They're doing everything right. It's really couple A, not person A. Couple A is doing everything right. They are making six figures. They're working good jobs. They're dedicating enough time to their family. They feel really good. They're funding college for their children. They have life insurance for just in case one of them isn't going to make it. They have provided better education options and tutoring for their children to be higher educated. They invest in after-school activities, whether it be educationally or soccer and football and baseball. All these things are where their money's going. And at the end of the month, they feel like they don't have anything left. They've got the good insurance, and they're going to the dentist, and they're just doing everything right. And they're making great money, but they feel broke. Why? Then you have the other couple. They're best friends. And that couple makes the same amount of money, and they spend every penny. And they're not putting away anything in their 401k. And they're not worried about tomorrow. They are strictly worried about today. They were skiing in Vail last week, and they were drinking at the best restaurant in town with their best friends 2 nights ago. Things that couple A says, we never have the time and energy or money to do. But couple B is living life to the fullest. Meanwhile, they're dragging up a ton of debt, and they're not focused in any way of the future. What's right? What's wrong? Well, obviously, with risk comes reward. And with sacrifice comes a higher level of reward. And so couple A over here, who's doing all the right things, eventually starts to get it right. It starts to feel better. It starts to work its way out, especially when kids start going to college. And all of a sudden, the college accounts they were saving for are right there for them to use. Or the 401k is now also six figures and continuing to grow. And their retirement, they can see the end, the light at the end of the tunnel. But while they're working, it was hard. They didn't see it. They didn't feel it. They didn't enjoy it. But now they're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're having more fun. They're able to do a little bit more. Couple B is in the same level of debt they were in before. Their kids are struggling to get loans because they make too much money. It's a challenge to get ahead. And they're in so much debt that they have to have a hard reset. Maybe even a bankruptcy. Like, these are all the things that we see every day. What's the moral of the story? The moral of the story is we hear and see this every day. There is no right or wrong answer to live. There is no right or wrong way to living. There isn't a correct path that you have to take. But at some point in time, you have to sacrifice to have success. At some point in time, yes, the drive over here with couple A is definitely something that required a significant amount of sacrifice when they were younger. But eventually, as they get older, it becomes a lot more abundant. And life should continue to work its way out. And it's challenging in those beginning years, but it really pays off in the end. And couple B, they had a great time. And no one's going to take away the skiing in Vail or the drinks with their best friends at the best restaurant and bar in the town. But at the end of the day, sometime they have to stop and save. and pay off the debt and get ahead, because they're so far behind that sometimes that makes it difficult. So if you're couple A, keep driving to success, and realize that the future is bright. It starts with sacrifice and it ends with reward and success. If you're couple B, no problem. Start tomorrow. It's a choice. Enjoy life. Balance it. Balance the two worlds a little bit more than just focused on only winning to some day in the future. And also, maybe don't live so much today that you have nothing to show for tomorrow. Because at the end of the day, if catastrophe or something did happen and couple A was sitting there with that life insurance policy or whatever it may be to help them, that's going to help their family. It's going to help their future. They're prepared, where couple B is going to be scrambling. And the reality is, these are people that we all know. These could be ourselves. They could be you, they could be me, they could be any of us. I can tell you I've sat across from clients on both sides of that aisle and everything in between. And the reality is, everybody has to make a choice at some point in time to sacrifice for the future success of where they want to be. You can't get where you want to go in life without some level of sacrifice. We can't lose weight without eating better and exercising. We can't have money in the end of our lives to pass on as a legacy if we didn't give up something while we were living in our lives. There's some level of give and take in life. Let me know, where do you fall? Do you live for tomorrow only and have a blast? Are you ready to stop that and change? Or are you on the other side and you feel like you've been doing everything right and it's never enough? How do you enjoy a little bit more of life and still do all the right things? What's the takeaway there? Where do you fall? Where do you find yourself? How do you get to that right balance? Share with me your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. Thanks for joining me.